a wave, but when you observe it, it behaves like a particle. So, is it a particle or is it a wave? So, they are not able to decide even the fundamental particle, how it is moving. You cannot say the fundamental particle is particle or a wave. So, they said, let's call it wavicle. Now, they call it the fundamental particle is wavicle. Its nature is it's both wave and particle at the same time. If you want to observe it, it's particle. If you don't observe it, it's a wave. So it's very perplexing. They cannot say. So that's the maximum they came up to. They cannot see, they cannot understand who is this person who's influencing the pattern. That is, they call it consciousness.
If you don't observe it, how do they know if it's a wave?
The graph, through the graph, they're plotting it.
Oh, so when you plot the wave,
Yeah,
it shows the wavelength,
yeah,
and just by itself it's a particle.
as a particle.
This is
So it's dual. At the same time, it's acting both ways. So now,
Puranas have written about this.
actually, we have in Bhagavatam also, third canto talks a lot about this. You'll be surprised. Third canto, 11th chapter, it begins like this. In fact, we don't know how to measure the speed, time. You can just say time, right? But science has not described what is time really. You are talking about time is speed into distance. Uh,
but distance from speed.
the distance divided by speed is time. That's how we calculate. But Bhagavatam describes what is time. How is time measured? You take the most fundamental particle and the distance to cover that most fundamental particle is the division of time.
What is the division of time?
That's the unit of time. So it is called paramanu.
Hmm.
And then six of those paramanus make one anu.
How long is one?
It's equal to photon. It says like a mesh, like if there is a mesh, through that, if you one sun ray passes through that, you can measure that as paramanu. It's 6 times the measurement of paramanu. So like that, the whole measurement keeps going, and it's very beautiful. I mean, if somebody loves physics and want to read that, it gives entire time dimensions, divisions of time, like that.
We only know second.
We know second, people will say nanosecond. Nano means to the power of -9.
No.
9. Nano is 9.
That is power negative.
-9. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So that is
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Where is Dhyan? He's coming.
We already did this, right?
Yeah, we did this. So we'll go to the next one. Yeah. No, no. Nine is finished. 10 we have to do.
How can we do everything?
Okay, so where I was going with this is that Haribol. Yeah. Keep it. So where I was going with this is this science of the soul itself is very secret because it is secret. You cannot understand it. It looks like you can figure it out, but you cannot. So Krishna is talking about the soul, the science of the soul as secret, but the science of Krishna himself is a supreme secret. And that is what he is going to describe as transcendental knowledge. So how do you understand? Means what is it that you are supposed to get out of Hare Krishna? You came alone? Mother? You came alone?
Yeah. No, I think it's out of town.
Oh, okay. Hare Krishna. Ari. Ari.
Ari.
Ari. Ari. Hare Krishna Ari. Okay, so just like we are saying, the soul, Krishna explained, the soul has no beginning, no end. The soul was never born, the soul will never die. We learned all that, right? Now Krishna is talking about himself. That's the supreme secret. How I come with my own Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. That is in sixth chapter, sixth sloka, sorry. Sixth sloka. Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. And why do I come? To protect the devotees, only always. To protect the devotees. If demons are hurting, disturbing devotees, he is going to eliminate the disturbance. That is the reason, main reason he is coming. Is to protect the devotees always. That's his only agenda. And then Krishna is saying, if you learn the supreme secret, what happens to you? What is the advantage of learning this? That's exactly what he's confirming in ninth sloka. Tyaktva deham punarjanma nepi. Tyaktva deham means once you give up this body, punarjanma nepi.
You don't get rebirth.
You understood Sanskrit now fully. Exactly. You will not get rebirth again.
And you go back to.
That is the power of Jnana Yoga. That is what you are expected to learn.
So if you gain knowledge,
If you gain not ordinary knowledge, this particular knowledge, this supreme secret, then you will not, then you will end this. Now, what is stopping you to learn this knowledge? That's the next sloka Krishna is talking. 10th sloka. So let's read that. Vitaraga bhayakroda manmaya mamupashitaha bahavo gnana tapasa Uta madbhavamagataha Vitaraga bhayakroda manmaya mamupashitaha
One day I have to sit together.
Bhagavo Jnana Tapasa Puta Madbhavamagataha. Anybody want to chant? Vitaraja Bhayakroda Manmaya Mamupashitaha Bhagavo Jnana Tapasa Puta Madbhavamagata Vitaraga Bhayakroda Manmaya Mamupashitaha Bhagavo Jnana Tapasa Puta Madbhavamagataha Vitaraga Bhayakroda
Manmayamam upashita
Manmaya Mamupashitaha
jnana tapasya
Bhagavo Jnana Tapasa
Bhutamad bhavam agata
Puta Madbhavamagata
वीतराग भय क्रोध
वीतरागा भयक्रोधा
मन्मया मामुपाश्रितः
मन्मया मामुपाश्रितः
बहवो ज्ञानतपसा
बहवो ज्ञानतपसा
भावमागतः
भूतानुद्भावमागतः। अच्युत वीतरागा भयक्रोधा मन्मया मामुपाश्रितः बहवो ज्ञानतपसा भूतानुद्भावमागतः। Yeah. वीतरागा भयक्रोधा मन्मया मामुपाश्रितः। हरे कृष्ण। बहवो ज्ञानतपसा भूतानुद्भावमागतः वीतरागा भयक्रोधा मन्मया मामुपाश्रितः बहवो ज्ञानतपसा भूतानुद्भावमागतः। Translation: Vita, freed from raga, attachment, bhaya, fear, krodha, anger, maya, fully in me, mam, unto me, upashritaha, being fully situated, bhavaha, many, gnana, knowledge, tapasa, by penance, bhuta, being purified, madbhavam, transcendental love for me, agataha, attained. Translation: being freed from attachment, fear, and anger. Okay, repeat. Being freed from attachment, fear, and anger. Being fully absorbed in me, and taking refuge in me. Many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. Purport: everybody can read one sentence. As described above, it is very difficult for a person who is too materially affected to understand the personal nature of the supreme absolute truth.
In the materialistic concept, the body is perishable, full of ignorance, and completely miserable. Bodily idea and they are informed in the personal form of the
For such materialistic men, the form of the gigantic material manifestation is supreme.
Consequently, they consider the Supreme to be impersonal.
Because they are true, materially God, the conception of retaining the personality actually brings some matter of pride and respect.
When they are informed that spiritual life is also individual and personal, they become afraid of becoming persons again, and so they naturally prefer a kind of merging into the impersonal void.
Generally, they compare the living entities to the bubbles of the ocean, which merge into the ocean.
That is the highest perfection of spiritual existence, attainable without the individual personality. This is a kind of spiritual state of life. These words reflect the spiritual existence. Furthermore, there are many persons who cannot understand spiritual existence at all.
Being embarrassed by so many theories and by contradictions of various types of philosophical speculation, they become disgusted or angry and foolishly conclude that there is no supreme cause and that everything is ultimately void.
The people are in a diseased condition of life.
Some people are too materially attached and therefore do not give attention to the spiritual life. Some of them want to merge into the supreme spiritual cause, and some of them disbelieve in everything, being angry at all sorts of spiritual speculations out of hopelessness.
This last class of men take to the shelter of some kind of intoxication and their affective hallucinations are sometimes accepted as spiritual vision.
One has to get it. Yeah.
One has to get rid of all the stages of attachment to the material world. Negligence of spiritual life, fear of a spiritual personal identity, and the conception of void that underlies the frustration of life.
To get free from these three stages of the material concepts of life, one has to take complete shelter of the Lord, guided by the bona-fide spiritual masters, and follow the disciplines and regulative principles of devotional life.
The last stage of the devotional life is called Bhava, or translated love of Godhead.
According to you got it.
According to Bhakti the science of devotional service, Adau Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha, Atha Bhajana Kriya, Tato Anartha Nivritti, Sya Tato Nishta Ruchis Tata. What is that? Atha Sakti Tato Bhavas, Tata Prema
Abhya.
Prema Bhutansyati.
Sadhakanam ayam
साधकानाम् अयं प्रेमणा प्रादुर्भवेत् भवेत् कर्मः.
In the beginning, one must have a preliminary desire for self-realization.
This will bring one to the stage of trying to associate with persons who are so spiritually elevated.
In the next stage, one becomes initiated by an elevated spiritual master, and under his instruction, the neophyte devotee begins the process of devotional service.
Execution of devotional service under the guidance of the spiritual master, one becomes free from all material attachments, attains steadiness in supreme realization, and actualizes a taste of hearing the absolute personality of Godhead speak.
One further for love
Further forward.
personal consciousness. This is returned in the love in bhava or the preliminary stages of continental love of God. The real love for God is called prema, the highest perfectional stage of life.
Prema states there is constant and engagement in the transcendental loving service of the Lord.
So by the slow process of devotional service, the highest
Under-
guidance of the bona fide spiritual master one can attain the highest stage, being freed from all material attachments, from the fearfulness of one's individual spiritual personality, and from the frustration resulting philosophy.
void.
From void philosophy.
Then he will be ultimately attained to the abode of the supreme Lord.
Om Tat Sat. Yeah.
So the three things that are stopping us from getting to Krishna are attachment, fear, and anger, right?
Yes, that is one part. Apart from that, there are three philosophical concepts which are also stopping us, which Prabhupada explained in this purport.
Not really related to the topic again. It's about like changing bodies. Um, so when human life was first formed, when Krishna made human life,
Thanks so much.
when Krishna made human life, did human life start out as an old man or like I don't know how to phrase it or like a baby because to become a baby you need to have an old man and also a baby can't fight for itself.
Like chicken and egg. Good question. Good question, actually. It's there in the Bhagavatam. It's there in the
Anything
Bhagavatam.
that is not there.
It's there in the Bhagavatam. Very nice question, though. Everybody heard the question?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, the very first living entity, I'm jumping all the three avatars, incarnations. I'll just answer your question directly. Brahma is sitting in the lotus. He got the instruction. Of course, there was a small drama happens. Brahma was born. He was the first living entity, the only person who was there, and he didn't know what to do. Literally, he didn't know what to do. He was on. So everybody is curious. If just like us, we are all same personality, right? If anything is you want to explore, then you will go around and see. So he went around and he saw this big lotus. He was on the lotus. The whole Brahmaloka is on lotus flower. So he went to the edge of the lotus. Then he thought maybe outside the lotus, if I explore, maybe I'll find something. So he climbed outside the lotus and he caught the stem of the lotus and he went down to the bottom of the lotus. So obviously, what he should find?
Krishna.
Because the lotus came from Vishnu's navel. He reaches to the bottom and there's nothing. He didn't find Vishnu there.
What did he find?
Why? Because Vishnu, you cannot find him through mechanical process. So Vishnu went inside his heart.
Disappeared.
It disappeared.
Vishnu became soul?
No, then
He can go.
he can anytime, he can change anytime, right? He can change anyway. So then Brahma had no clue. Oh my God, I couldn't find anything. Then he went back to the lotus. Then what happens? You all remember the lotus itself is in the Garbha Samudra. So the waves are hitting the stem and some splashing, just like thump, like thump, thump. Water is splashing, and he could hear some sound. So he heard this sound thump, thump. So he thought maybe I should do tapasya. So then he sat, and for 100 Devatas years, he does tapasya. Then Vishnu does not give him darshan. He talks. He says, I know why you are doing tapasya. You want to find out what is your work. Why were you created? So I have created you so that in turn you will do the creation. Then Brahma asks, how? Says, just meditate on me again, you will get the answer. He did not give any clue. He did not say how to do the creation. He did not tell. So Brahma, okay, Vishnu told again meditate. Then again he sat in meditation. Then he just sat in meditation. He was thinking about Vishnu. Then what happened? From his nose, one small boar came out of his nose. Boar.
Hare Krishna.
Boar, Varaha.
The one with the tusk?
Yeah, the one with the tusk. A small one, tiny one. He came out of the nose. So he didn't know, he didn't do anything. So Brahma was just sitting and the boar came out. And when Varaha came out, he started growing in size like gigantic, like Vishwarupa. That size he became. Then first time he saw Varaha. Generally we think first Matsya came, then Kurma, like that, right? We think in that way, order. But that's not the order here. Bhagavad first Bhor came out.
First,
Then after some time, again he continued meditation. Then from his heart, Narad Muni came. Narad Muni came.
But that's then avatar.
And that is not in that sequence. Actually, it's a good point. I can cover that because that is there in the ninth chapter, ninth sloka. Krishna talks about all the avatars. Avatars.
Krishna's avatar.
All types of avatars.
10 times.
No, 6 types. 6 types, varieties. Dashavatar is one type of avatar. It's called Leela avatar. Yeah, it is not final.
So 6 avatars, and then
No, 6 types of
Six
avatars.
types of avatars.
And then one of those are the Leela avatar, and
Yes.
there are 10 types of Leela avatars.
There are 10.
No,
Leela.
no, there are many. But according to Bhagavatam, the 24 are mentioned. And it says the list goes on.
Then what's the 10 for?
This one,
10 is just a highlight written by one poet called Jayadev Goswami. It's a great devotee. He composed poetry, so that became famous as Dashavatar Stotra. So only 10 highlight avatars were spoken then, that's all. Well, yeah. Out of 10, 24, 10 are there included. Like that.
So you were mentioning the
so he does tapasya, then first Narad Muni,
Then
second
Narad Muni comes. So Narad Muni, he takes a vow. What happened? There is a backstory. He was already practiced devotional service. Now this time, he got a transcendental body of Narad Muni. He made a pledge. I will not do procreation like how you are thinking I will procreate. I will not do any procreation. So, if you want to make some alternate arrangements, I am engaged in bhakti. So then Brahma had to create more. Then again he sat in meditation. Then 4 Kumaras came. The 4 Sanaka Sanatana Kumaras came. Then Narad Muni preached to the 4 boys. Now they are brothers. Then he told, what do you want to do? This samsara, bandhan, chakkarma, you will get caught up. No need to do all that. Just do bhakti to Krishna. Then all 4 followed brother's order, with Narad Muni's order. Then Brahma gets angry. I am telling you to do procreation, you are saying no. Then you'll be surprised what happens. He becomes so angry, Brahma becomes so angry on the Kumaras. From his forehead, out of his anger, comes Lord Shiva. So that's how Lord Shiva comes. So nothing is, back to his question, whether they're born with, as a baby or like that, it's not like that. So they're all the living entities are just coming out.
what comes after Shiva?
Then all the Daksha and all the Manus, they come. So all the Manus are again Vishnu avatars. That's another category. So they start procreating
Oh.
like that. Yes.
Why did it not come knowing?
Huh?
Brahma
Why did he?
not know what to do when he came? Why didn't he just like come with the knowledge of what to do?
Yeah, he came. I mean, like, it's a set of knowledge. So then when he again prayed, of course, it's a process. Everything is there. Like all of us already have Krishna consciousness in us. But when you meditate on Vishnu, that knowledge will manifest.
It gets
That is a secret.
It gets unlocked.
It gets unlocked.
So, when he came into the world, when Brahma came into the world, he was on the lotus, right?
Yeah, he's already
He's already fully grown.
grown person.
Is the lotus on the earth?
Late man.
Huh?
Is the lotus the earth?
No,
No,
Why is
You
it
should-
not?
it's Brahmaloka. You forgot the lotus. The lotus stem is all the galaxies are there.
The planetary
The
system.
planets, all the planetary systems are in the stem.
All the planets.
Yeah, he went.
Yeah.
Long did that take?
Oh, for him, it doesn't take much time.
How big is he?
Maybe he's very good.
Hey, can't be that, I mean, like this.
So he
Yeah, he doesn't have gross body like us. He has a subtle body.
wasn't chicken and was middle-aged man.
Huh?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So it's right down the middle.
That's what middle-aged man.
Yeah, but everybody who's born are his children only, no, in that sense. So Saraswati, he married Saraswati.
Wait.
But then all the other children who are all, the Prajapatis and the Kashyap Muni and all the seven sages, they condemn Brahma. So this is not correct. I mean, doesn't sound nice.
Why did he
You
get
married your own daughter like that, it didn't sound correct. So then Brahma technically says, okay, I agree with what you're saying because he's a great devotee. He accepts and he says, okay, I will give up that body because that it's contaminated according to you also. I also accept it's contaminated. So I give up that body. So he gives up that because it's not like our body, it's a subtle body. So Brahma gives up that body. So now all the clouds and all the fog and all that you see is the remnants of Brahma's body.
That's what
That's
Bhagavatam.
what Bhagavatam says. It's very difficult to conceive that it's a remnant of Brahma's body.
He
Yeah.
has a question.
So when Brahma's body gets angry, it starts to rain.
When Brahma's body gets angry,
remnants are
The clouds.
clouds
his body
is-
contaminated?
yeah, like that there are so many. Like even Indra, when he was cursed, he also gave his sinful portion of his body as a sap of a tree, as a bubbles in the foam. You know, when water has foam and bubbles, it's not fit for drinking. Like that, even the women's menstrual cycle, that also. These are all the remnants of Indra's curse. So like that, it is given away. So it's hard for us to comprehend how these things translate like that. Yeah.
After Brahma, how did the next humans come?
So after Brahma, then all the Prajapatis, all the seven great sages were born.
Did they just appear?
Yeah, they all just appear like that.
You think from the mouth, from the bone came, or from the heart?
No, I saw that.
From all the parts of his body, one living entity is coming out. He does nothing is in control. It's explained from shoulders what came, from his heart what came, from his feet what came. He's just a witness. He's not doing anything.
Yeah, he's a
He's just an
instrument.
instrument. That's
So
all.
ultimately, it's still
Vishnu. Yeah, Vishnu is doing all the creation.
Wait, then why did he need Brahma to create everything?
So when that's how Krishna works, he operates just like how if you're a big manager and CEO of a company, will you go and sit and do all the work? What will you do? You delegate. Just a big manager in a company also delegates.
he can
You
do it.
think the Supreme Lord, he does not know how to manage work? That's
He
the
can
thing.
do the work,
Yeah.
but he is better than you.
Exactly.
But he did do the work.
He's giving,
He's empowering. He's empowering.
he's meditating on the Lord and Lord is giving him the power.
Power. Yeah.
Okay. Indirectly, everything is done by Lord. So in the purpose,
There are three.
yeah,
Three
it's 17.
philosophies.
So one was the negligence of spiritual life.
That means you're atheist. So
Next,
atheism is one thing that will stop you not understanding. Second,
fear, spiritual, personal identity.
what that means is right now we all are experiencing forms, relations, emotions, and we are thinking because of all these things we are having problems in life. Either some check or something up. So our idea of spirituality should be opposite. I have a form, I have a body. So spiritual life means no form, no body. I have emotions, I have attachments. Spiritual life means no relations, no emotions, no attachments. You get it? So all this, if you keep on erasing, what is left? Void. It's called Sunyavada. It's called Sunyavada.
They're afraid of
So
the
that is, yes.
because they're
Because you don't
less-
have knowledge. Yeah, less jnana, less jnana. So that's the second one, which will also block you.
the third is conception of void that underlies the frustration of life.
Yeah, so that is Brahman, that's Brahma Jyoti. So what those who are little more advanced than that stage, they think when everything is finished and if I'm spiritual, I will merge into some light, bright light.
Isn't that when you like merge into the sun? You were
Not
talking
sun.
about it. So
Brahma
or-
Jyoti. It's
yeah.
a spiritual sky.
but you said that you couldn't stay in that. You
You
never-
can't stay for a long time.
So also less again.
Also less jnana. So these three philosophical ideas is also a contamination apart from the three other things that you told.
Fear, anger, and attachment.
Vita, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha. So those four things also are an obstacle. 4 plus 3, 7. All 7 are obstacles. So all these obstacles are there.
Attachment, fear, anger, and the other three. Like, 6.
Yeah.
Six, no,
Okay,
six.
They also this Kama, Krodha, Lova, Moha, Mada, Matsarya are defined as 6 also.
12.
Yeah. Basically, the root cause is same. It's lust, the Kama. You read that in the previous third chapter, right?
Mhm.
Kama yesha, Krodha yesha, Rajoguna samudbhavaha. So that root is Kama. So that is expanded into all these other things. But necessarily, what happens is unless you are free from all that, you cannot fix yourself and surrender unto Krishna. Mad ashrayaha.
So
Ashraya means to take shelter. How do you take shelter? Just like today, you have a big employer like Google or some big company says, don't worry, I'll take care of you. Then how much secure you feel? My job is secure. I got a full-time offer. Full-time offer. So I'm set. How much security you're feeling? A lot. Right? Why? Why? Because now Ashraya, you are taking shelter of that company's offer. And that company is fallible. It's all lies. Anyway, still we think, oh, this offer is very good. I can be very comfortable. And that gives you security. But if you have real knowledge, Jnana Yoga, if you really got the knowledge, then what happens? Krishna is giving you that offer. I will take care of you. I will take care. And Krishna's offer is not a bounce check. He will not give you a pink slip and say you're fired. I just made a mistake. I cannot take care of you anymore. No, Krishna never does that. In fact, there's a beautiful Leela of Ramachandra. When he's walking in the forest every day, all thorns, everything gets stuck in his feet. So Lakshmana, he wants to serve Ramachandra. So when Ramachandra is sleeping, he wants to do massage for his feet because he feels he's walked so much. Then when he sees there are thorns which are stuck to his feet, then he was about to pluck. Then Ramachandra immediately gets up and says, no, you don't do that. That thorn is also taking shelter of the lotus feet of Ramachandra. So I have to, how can I give up? How can I give up? That kind the Lord is. Even the thorn, because nothing happens to Ramachandra. But you can see the mentality or the mood or the loving relation.
So
Wait, wait.
problem-
He's asking a question.
Okay.
Since all of his hand is up.
Sorry.
So, you know, wait, I forgot. Okay, I'm just gonna, the first person's soul, I forgot the name.
Brahma.
Brahma.
Which, what's his soul, who body did his soul pass on to? After,
Brahma is a body.
yeah, I know, but what material body? Brahma's soul.
Brahma's body is material body.
Yeah, I know, but Brahma's soul inside the material body, right?
And he died.
Yeah.
No, died when
He's not dead yet.
He's not
Still,
dead
he's
yet.
alive.
He's still alive.
So we don't know.
You mean when he gave up?
You want to
He will
know
give
the
when
next
you-
Brahma? We can tell who's the next Brahma.
But he's a,
Hanuman. Hanuman is the next Brahma.
yeah, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hanuman. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hanuman. Yeah. He'll be the next Brahma.
He will see them.
Yeah. He's because Brahma is only 50 years old now. Our present Brahma. So he has to wait for another 50 years to take that position.
Oh, no, he's
Yeah.
still
He's still
there.
there.
He didn't die.
Hanuman is one
Hanuman
of
is
the-
still living.
Hanuman is still living. Five people
Five
are
people
still,
are still living.
living.
Ashwatthama, Parshuram,
Hanuman.
Aswadama,
Where is Hanuman?
Mahabali,
Hanuman.
Vivishna.
Where are they?
Vivishna.
They're somewhere. That's what they say.
Ashwatthama, Parshuram, Parshuram.
Yes,
Krishna's spiritual world.
Yeah, one of them is Parshuram.
1 second, there's a cross talk happening.
Vedavyasa,
Yes.
Vedavyasa, Mahabali, और Vishnu और हनुमान और परशुराम और generally market day.
Ashwatthama.
That I
Yeah.
because Shiva side I don't know. I
Yeah.
am bit too how Vishnu free. Yeah, no Vishnu got to. Shiva means my भाभी सब लोग शिवा को इनको मंदिर को नहीं जाएगा लेकिन I will go.
Yeah. Vaishnavana yatha Shambhu. Of all Vaishnavas, the first Vaishnava, the best Vaishnava is Shambhu, is Shiva.
Okay, what is Krishna's
What
question?
is Krishna?
So, yeah. Where is Brahma and
You said that there are 5 people still living. Where are they?
Where are they?
We don't know. You see what happens, there is like a bunker, we don't know. What happens in Bhagavatam, it describes when the Pandavas are finished their term and they are going back, they take the path from the Himalayas. So as they keep walking from the Himalayas, after some point, there is one dog which is also following. So the dog dies. And then Draupadi dies. And then Nakul, then Sahadev. Like that, each one is leaving the body there. But they all, actually what happens is they are not dying. They're not leaving the body like that. They are entering into a portal, which we cannot see. It's another dimension. The same way now Kumbh Mela is happening. The Kumbh Mela also, it says very clearly in Skanda Purana, when the pot was being fought by both Devatas and Asuras, the nectar keeps falling 4 times on the earth. And it says all the planets, all the places, it is not accessible to humans. The realm of Bhuloka, it fell in Bhuloka. But that Bhuloka is not accessible by humans. It says very clearly in Skanda Purana. It's a different realm. It's a different dimension. So you cannot really know where is that dimension. It is Himalayas only. They are going in the Himalayas. After some point, they just vanish.
Different dimension.
Different dimension they're going.
So, different question now. So, the main problem that we have is karma, right?
Mhm.
So, to fix that, we need jnana.
You need jnana, correct.
And that, how do you gain that jnana after reading scriptures?
Not just that. The whole chapter explains about Bahava Jnana Tapasa. Bahavo Jnana Tapasa. We read that just now.
Bahavo Jnana Tapasa Puta Madbhava.
Agataha. So what happens? How do you get jnana? By doing tapasya. So Krishna explains there are different types of tapasya that you can do. And why there are different types of tapasya, Krishna explains in the next sloka.
For different people who can do different things.
Because people are attached materially. As per their material attachment, how much intensity you are attached to the material world, that much less you will want to understand Krishna. So for each person who's so much attached like that, there is a different recommendation.
So what are the different types of tapasya?
So Krishna categorizes them like Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, and a mixture of Rajoguna and Tamoguna, which is called Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. So each person in these gunas is not separating them like that. He's just showing a category. Depending on your attachment to this material world, you will be in one of the buckets. So you have a different propensity. If you are in Sattva-guna, you are a little you are a calm guy. You're a pretty cool guy. But if you are in Rajoguna, you want to take control of everything. And if you are in mixed guna, which is Vaishya, then both Rajoguna and Tamoguna is mixed. Sometimes you want to be controlling, taking control. So there is a different recommendation what type of activities you are supposed to do.
So what are those activities for each category? Do you know them?
Everything is given here.
Which sloka?
As you graduate, you keep on seeing all those recommendations. So not only this in this chapter only,
No,
everything is there.
right now in this Prabhupada says no, you have to take like the nine process.
Why? That's
He's
a good point.
explaining it.
That's also a very good point.
You have to take a spiritual master.
Yes.
The third one, no. First is Adav Shraddha.
One second, I'll tell you why. Because here last line which Krishna is saying, Putamat bhavam agataha. Bhavam means bhava bhakti. That what happens when you learn this transcendental knowledge, what you will get? Bhava. Bhava is prema. So how do you get prema is what Prabhupada is explaining in the purport. The 9 steps to graduate to get prema.
Is that like the ladder?
The ladder. Not ladder. Ladder is for yoga. It's yoga ladder. But this is the steps of bhakti. Bhakti, creeper of bhakti.
So there are 9 steps.
Yes, 9 stages you can say.
And those are
Adhav Shraddha starts with faith. Tatha Sadhu Sangha. Even in the material world, it's exactly the same thing. It begins with faith only. Everything begins with faith. Just like your brother wants to play soccer. Why? Shraddha. Some Shraddha he got. When he heard from somewhere something, I have to get into this. Then how did he develop that? Sadhu Sangha. Those who play more soccer, you have to be with them. Then Tata Bhajana Kriya, then what happens if you go with the same people?
you get better at.
So you'll also play soccer. So that's what we did. So if you associate with devotees, and you get little faith, then what are devotees doing? They are engaged in bhajana. And what will happen to you? You will also learn how to do bhajana. Then what happens if you continue to do bhajana? Anartha nivritti. All the dirt in your heart will keep on gradually vanishing. What is that? What is that anartha? Kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. All these will slowly minimize. It will become, you'll calm down and you'll minimize. And without your knowledge, they will subside completely. Then, just like if your cup is full, you cannot put anything more inside that. So once your cup is becoming empty, then slowly you can add Krishna consciousness, prema, little by little. And prema is obviously tainted right now with our kama. So, ye yata mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. As much as your purity is there and surrender, ashritaha, how much you can take shelter of Krishna depends on how much your anarthas are cleansing. That much, so it is directly proportionate.
The more spiritual activity you do, the less your karma is. So the more prema you have.
Exactly, exactly. So now then what happens? Krishna explains the intricacies of people who are attached to the material life. What kind of activity? Then he talks about the karma, akarma, vikarma, all those intricacies he talks about. Then he talks about the tapasya. What is kind of tapasya you should do? As a brahmachari, there's a different tapasya
For each.
for each for each stage of life. Yes. So that is a social order of life.
And this is all in the fourth chapter.
It's all in the first chapter.
Then in fifth chapter, what do they explain?
Then it is action in Krishna consciousness. It's like Sankhya Yoga. How do you apply this knowledge? Like that. Then of course he introduced more tapasya. So more types of tapasya he introduces.
So what is the 12th chapter about, the last chapter?
That is devotional service. 12th is not last.
No, which one is
18.
it? 18, yeah.
18 is conclusion of everything. He takes the highlights of every chapter and he shows there.
Okay.
Three types of philosophy in this sloka. I didn't get the third one.
You don't-
But can you explain like what the three
So
philosophies?
2 and 3 are very.
One is, yeah,
Yeah, two.
no, one is negative. One is negative means he's an atheist.
Who does-
So he doesn't even believe in spiritual life or spiritual knowledge. So he's wanting to be atheist. He just denies everything. It is in total denial. And second is called Sunyavada. Because I don't know anything material, this spiritual means null.
Yeah.
When I die, nothing is there.
What?
Why?
And I'm scared. So
So I don't
will
want to,
be-
rather not think about it,
Yeah.
think about it, nothing.
Yeah.
I do nothing about it.
And I just enjoy it right now what I have.
That's it.
Yeah.
This is called voidism or sunyavada.
Yeah. And
And the third is to merge into the Brahmajyoti.
so those are the people who
They
have
are called Mayavadis. They look very, very, very similar to what we are saying. They speak mostly same philosophy, same language, but they do not have details of spiritual life.
So they have faith. That's how it all starts for them, right?
Yes.
So where are the other categories, which are like the pure devotees?
Oh, they are on the.
So that is not out of these three philosophies.
So these are
No, these three are obstacles to enter into the secret of
they're
Jnana.
stopping you from one third.
Okay.
Yes.
Third one, which is Mayavad, they had faith, but they got lost. Like they didn't achieve the perfect knowledge.
They don't
Correct.
have enough jnana to understand.
They don't have enough. Jnana is not mature.
Okay. That became an obstacle to them.
Correct. So, just like third chapter is Karma Yoga. Now, Karma Yoga should transform into Bhakti. If it doesn't, then what happens? You're performing Karma Yoga nicely. All it will do is take you to in heavenly lokas. Forget about Mukti also. So when Jnana is not completed, then you get into Brahma Jyoti. You merge into Brahma Jyoti. So these are all still considered contaminations of bhakti only.
What do you do? 6 or 9 kama,
Mada, Matsarya.
Say the meaning.
Kama, lust, Krodha, Lobha,
Greed.
greed, Mada. Mada means almost madness. Matsarya, you already lost your intelligence. Matsarya, you lost your, you became insane, basically. Kama, Krova, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Yeah, that's the last stage. You became insane, basically. Moha is illusion. Or you are deluding yourself.
What are these things?
These are the manifestations of intensity of karma. The karma, when you keep on intensifying karma more and more and more and more, these are all the manifestations.
Become insane and
At the last, yeah. Highest level of insanity is karma is insanity.
And what's the escape hatch for them?
So there are several. Krishna gives several. He says everything is tapasya. Through tapasya means to tolerate. That's the first instruction he gave in second chapter. Just like how you tolerate seasons, like that you should learn to tolerate all your ups and downs in life. Because there is going to be ups and downs. That's the first principle he gives. Then the second principle he talks is how to control this is by detachment. Now, detachment is very difficult. So then he says, you gain knowledge. Right. Matsarya.
Yeah. Those people are saying.
they need a lot of help by
They need a lot of help
They-
by only by association.
And how will that transformation happen?
So that transformation, Krishna says in the Bhagavatam, it's very nicely explained. Shrunvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtanaha Hrudayantasto hi abhadrani viduroti sahutra satam. So simple. It looks very, very simple, but the process is magical. Everyone might say that all you have to do is just listen to Krishna, Krishna's name and Krishna Katha. That's all. The recommendation is only that much. But there are some caveats. The caveat is one sloka before that it says, Susrusho Shraddadhanasya Vasudeva Katharucham Shyan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punya Tirtha Nishevana. Meaning, from where you should hear Srinvatam Swakata Krishna, from whose lips you should hear. That caveat is given just before sloka. This is a devotee. He is carrying all the Punya Tirthas in his feet. Why did he get that power? Because he is Vasudeva Katharuchi. He has developed his intense attachment to Vasudeva. And his attachment to Vasudeva has become immense. Because he is so immensely attached to Krishna, he cannot take out the thought of Krishna from his thoughts. So wherever he is walking, he is carrying all the holy places with him. It's like you trying to go to Kumbh Mela, but this pure devotee, when he comes, all the Kumbh Mela is coming to you. So you go to take dip in Ganga so that you will become purified. But when this pure devotee, he takes in Ganga, he purifies Ganga. That is the difference. That such type of a devotee you find, and you hear Vasudeva, Srinvatam Swakatha Krishna, Swakatha, Krishna Katha. You hear from Krishna magically, mysteriously, Hrudayantasto hi abhadrani. All the dirty things in your heart will be vanished. Then what happens? Vidyate Hrudaya Granthi. Hrudaya Granthi means knot. Everything attachment means how are you attached means it's really catching you. It is not. The biggest knot is familial knot. Husband, wife, children. This is the biggest knot. So it says, the next slogan says, Vidyate Hrudaya Granthi. So it cuts that knots of Hrudaya Granthi are Chidhyate Sarva Samsayaha. Chidhyate means completely finished. That kind of effect happens, all beginning simply from by hearing Krishna name, that's all. And how? Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nityam. Daily. Daily. Just like you put fire, in the fire, you put an iron rod. If you take it out, then it just maybe little warm it is. But if you keep it longer, it becomes more hot, intense. But if you keep on increasing the heat and don't remove it, then what happens?
Turns into something.
Turns into fire. Even though it is just an iron rod, in due course of time, because of the constant association, iron rod becomes no different than fire. It is fire. Like that, even though we are material, just ordinary people, but by constant touch of Krishna Nama, Krishna Katha, all through your 24 hours, it is possible to do it. Even while you are working, even while you are doing your household job, everything, you can still have it. Throughout the day. Just like as mother also, she is working a house and doing everything, but she has intense love for the children. So she is not forgetting. Because I did some work in the office, my love for my children did not go away. Like that, a devotee develops love for Krishna 24 hours, he cannot take out from his heart. Then his body, even though material, becomes completely spiritual.
But the thinking for that insane person has to come from village, right? Because you cannot like.
By
I
association,
have.
by association, just like everything
How
in this,
would one even come to
Right.
come in contact with such a person? I think that is karma, right? That is fate.
both ways, it is both ways. Actually, you're right. By karma only you can get the association of a pure devotee. That is correct. But a pure devotee is extra merciful. Even though you are not eligible, even though you don't have qualification, the pure devotee can see how much you are suffering. So he forces his mercy upon you.
No, I think my question again is how would that associate, how would that contact happen? Because that insane person will never ever go near
Correct?
spiritual.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have examples. Prabhupada has shown examples all through the scripture. Narad Muni has shown such examples. When Narad Muni met all these hunter, Anguli, Mala, and all these people, Narad Muni, one moment association only, they change. But, no, nothing like that. No, nothing like that. That's the whole point. So, of course, you cannot say whether it is because of their karma they met Narad Muni, but Prabhupada also mentioned like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu already made all the arrangement for me because I'm coming to America. He sent all these hippies to me. So Prabhupada did acknowledge like that, but that is Prabhupada being very humble. But he was actually being magnanimous and he was not discriminating whether this fellow is qualified, not qualified, anything like that. When he went to Australia, he didn't know that he was going to live longer. So he felt the urgency, emergency, and he installed the deities Radha Krishna there. And you know what prayer he made to the deities? He said, please excuse me, I am leaving you in the hands of mlechas, not even Sudras. They are so fallen, they don't know anything. You only purify their heart, you only make them understand what is devotional service, and you only get the seva done properly. This is the prayer Prabhupada made. And of course, we have to pray to get connected to a devotee like Prabhupada. Best to Prabhupada.
Please
Hmm.
help others.
Yeah.
Correct.
I think that's the best with that loved one if you have a loved one. I think that's the best prayer.
Actually, Prabhupada says only Indians are so qualified and so elevated already by their birth because they took birth in India. They don't need so much.
We have done some tapasya.
Yes, it's Punya Bhumi. It's Punya Bhumi. Seriously, it is not easy. You just scratch the surface, your Krishna consciousness awakes. Yeah.
Tell him like that, it will be bad.
Yes.
No, you can say, no, in India, whether he's a Muslim or
Ladies.
whoever.
There's no difference nowadays, ladies are equal to men. So they are, so they also do the same thing.
It's already there. They all know. Even if it's
Everybody speaks philosophy.
yeah, everybody gets big.
See,
great
see that,
knowledge.
see that,
He's big
that to do that, that soul is having a lot of samskara. A lot of samskara to do that. It is not ordinary. It's a special soul. It's a very special soul. I know children, when we were, yeah, perfect she's doing. When we were children, we used to sit together as a family and chant Om. And there was another small cousin who was less than 5-year-old or 3-year-old maybe. Moment we start Om, he would run away. He had intention to chant or no samskar, no vasana is not there.
Correct. So, but that is again my question, right? How can those people, but I think that is the.
No, my point is, suppose even if they have good samskar, good vasana, to meet a devotee like Prabhupada is not by karma.
It's the
It's not-
mercy of
it's
the
a- It's a special mercy.
It's a
Prabhupada came to the West and he's just giving to everybody. That's it. What do we have qualification, really?
it's a pure soul's mercy.
Yes.
Don't
Yes.
feel
Yes.
yes.
special that you got that.
Naturally, as Indians, we all are sentimentally attached to going to temple or all that. But so many people are already doing that. But very few are coming in touch with Prabhupada's message. This is unique. This is unique here. Vasana means taste. Taste. They are naturally inclined.
Okay.
Naturally inclined.
But that, you're saying that's not karma.
That is karma. Vasana is karma. Vasana is karma. Just like you have a natural inclination to learn Sangeetam. Not everybody has. So that is you're carrying from previous. That's a vasana.
Right.
Like even if I try, I don't have that in me. So yeah,
So meeting a pure devotee is not karma.
it's not karma. It's not karma. It's a special mercy. It is really, really special. Brahmande Kone Bhagyavanji. So the jiva is rotating from one Brahmanda to another Brahmanda to another Brahmanda, is like a vagabond, all of us. But what good fortune we got that we got in touch with this pure devotee. This is a game changer.
No.
Destiny is not enough. Destiny is not enough to make you touch with pure devotee.
It can be
Helpful. It can be helpful.
You have a desire. You have a desire. That is why. In your previous life, you have done something you would have done.
Some security.
That is not karma.
Security. It's called security.
Interest to do devotional service is not karma. It comes as
Karma simply gives you material comforts. Nothing more than that.
Material comfort. That is
How
karma.
much more materially comfortable you can be is given by punya karma, not your devotional feelings. Sukruti, that's called sukruti, a different component,
That will give you
a propensity.
to meet.
Yeah.
If you meet a devotee, that sukruti will go to the next step.
So, but that comes to the soul.
Yeah, that is eternally to the credit of your soul. It is never taken away.
And that doesn't fall in them.
No. You can be elephant. You can be an elephant body. You can be an elephant body, but if you have sukruti, that elephant will happen to go to the temple. Some Guruvayur temple, and if they are chanting some Hare Krishna, he will dance. That is the sukruti. Now, what is karma? According to karma, that fellow is suffering in the elephant body.
But
What sukruti? See, according to karma, the elephant in the elephant body is already a suffering. No intelligence, such a big body to carry and all that.
But if there is no intelligence, how will you keep
It means it has consciousness is not advanced to understand Krishna in that body, right? Animal body, you're not consciousness is not advanced. Human body consciousness is advanced.
Correct,
Yes,
correct.
yes.
So that's exception. That's not the rule. And why that exception happened? Because of this Sukruti.
Because that soul in its previous life has done some
Devotional work.
That is why he can remember and enjoy doing devotional service. Got a chance to get.
the soul gets karma, balance, and supreme.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sukruti is devotional service only.
So carry.
Yeah, so what it carries on. Yeah.
So all this is carried through subtle body, through your subtle body, which is Manas Buddhi Ahankara. What you are giving up when you die is only the gross body only is dying. So that is burnt or whatever. But what is not gone, is still stuck with the soul, is the Sukshma Sarira. So Sukshma Sarira is a repository of all your emotions and everything is like a repository. So that is being carried.
Does it say so when after they demise and then they cremate the
Yeah.
body, then they say there's a small
No attachment is there still.
No, wait, let it complete.
in the bone in the remains. Like when we get the ashes, right? When we collect the they separate out the bone, collect the ashes, प्रवाहित करने के लिए.
Uh-huh.
So I've seen recently there's a church called Atma Ram This is the way like a bone marble kind of the pure Atma had that intact. Like that doesn't burn. They say it's a very tiny piece of bone, white color, like almost like marble. Say it's near the heart, and for the pure, the one who is more, again, it might be, hearsay for that matter. For some, it is not found. For some, it's kind of distorted or blackened. But for some, it's pure and white.
You see, anything anybody says, you have to cross-check with scripture.
So that is
If there is no scriptural reference, it is just.
We have not heard about it.
No, it is definitely not there. But Bhagavad Gita talks about leaving of the body. And it is not there anywhere like that. You will not hear.
like burn the body. Then you have bones and you have ashes. They still, whatever way you do, the rest of the bones, I mean, when we're not.
No, when you burn, there's no bones left. It's all burned to ashes.
But there are some burnt out.
Bones are less.
Some burnt out.
Sometimes, but no, if it is not really burnt well, otherwise the bones are not left.
Bones are left.
Little, not
Very
all.
little.
Very little. No. Skeleton, no.
No.
It gets powder.
Yes,
It's
powder.
not burnt well.
It's not burnt well.
Electric,
Yeah.
it's completely.
Completely finished. Yeah.
They do naturally, there are bones.
Yeah, because the wood is sometimes not the best quality of wood. That's all.
Oh, so it goes with like
Yeah, everything is there.
We did electric, and it was like complete powder. For my late husband, they did the natural thing and.
You see, right?
Yeah. And nowadays they have gasification. So the mix is not electrified because what happens, people want to see the fire. So there is a basically gasification it's called. Some gas is released from the wood while you burn and the smoke is separated and the gas comes out and when you ignite it, it burns very well. So through that, when you do, there is completely burns to ashes. So
So
you,
when
you
you're
don't.
talking this, right, now I'm again going back to the three philosophies, and now I was thinking that those void, the people with the void, they wouldn't want to discuss these topics at all. They'll be so scared.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
They'll like avoid, okay,
Yeah,
let me go to
then-
the other room.
Yeah, it's not, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they don't.
So
they're not
Garuda
really
Puran, so there is
They
one,
avoid this.
so there is one Garuda
They know it.
Puran. There's one Garuda Puran which talks about what happens to the soul after death.
Yes. And
That's
it's like
very
that
detailed.
after the.
That's very detailed, very graphic.
For 13 days, they still do it.
Yeah.
But now these days, people don't have patience, so they say.
Yeah, so that is very detailed.
But people say,
After death, then for the next 13 days, you are expected to read Garuda Puran.
the family members read it. For sanctification.
Actually, it is for the purification of all the
All
people.
All the people,
Because-
it's other than us, it's like-
Because you are supposed to know the journey. Not scary,
If
it's
you
journey. If you know, if you
properly-
don't know, it is scary. If you know, well, it
Again,
is scary.
giving that to the point.
Yeah.
You will be scared to avoid
See,
that.
the thing
So
is,
Krishna is talking clearly about death as journey. Death, he never uses the word death. He uses the word death as journey. So when you die, what happens to the next? Just like my lease is over in this apartment. Now, if I make no plans, then I should be worried. But if I made a plan, after this lease is over, I know better apartment I'm getting. Or whatever is my next lease, if I know, where is the worry? Where is the fear? If you don't do anything, until the last day also you don't do anything, and the homeowner will come and kick you out. Then you are on the street, then you have fear. That is what people are doing. They are not making any plan for after this journey. After this journey, they are only making plan for this.
actually, it's
Part
not
of
that they
life.
are, it's they don't have knowledge.
Exactly.
It's not that they don't want to, they don't have knowledge and they don't want to hear also.
Why they don't want to hear, that's what Krishna is saying. Yeah.
They don't want to hear.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
again, that.
Option is there to hear, but they don't want to hear.
So Krishna is in next sloka only, we are in the next sloka.
But he's,
So
so why we should.
Yeah.
We never have to-
It's a little bit scary, like you said. So at that time, because when
Because you're
somebody-
vulnerable, right? So you will.
so what happens if they
There
have
is something
to-
called as Smasan Vairagya.
Yeah.
Means everybody, oh yeah, after all, life is very temporary. That at least momentarily, that thought comes at that time. So that's a good time for the audience. So all the audience are in the right mode.
During this time, because this is the marvel over there, the atmosphere is like that, so people can understand. At that only time they, but nowadays nobody is doing.
I feel we should all read it once.
Yeah.
Ourselves, not somebody reading for me.
Correct.
If you read Bhagavad Gita, whatever is already written in Garuda Puran is already mentioned.
Yeah. That is
Everything is there.
graphically that is written.
Yeah, those-
Where you will go, how many days, how your journey is.
Then the next body form.
Yeah, and then every month, every month when we are.
So auntie brought up a nice point. She's asking, so what happens to good soul?
Yeah.
Actually, Bhagavatam, in Garuda Puran, it says that there is a good soul who dies, then, and there's a bad soul that dies. What happens? So one who did a lot of sinful activity, if he dies, he will immediately get a body. Because it is easy to find bodies which are any random body, because it is not very, pious. So he'll easily get another body. Now, somebody who did some pious work or good soul, they also, I'll tell there are two ways. The good soul is also put in a transition period, and the bad soul, if it's really bad, is really, really bad, and if he is supposed to give up his human form, and supposed to get an animal body. Let us say example animal body. He's supposed to get a pig's body. He became by his activity. So he is given a yatana sarira, means a transition body for training. So the Yamadutas are training that fellow in that body, a transition body, to make him get used to eating stool. Because he's in a human form, he doesn't want to. So he's getting trained how to eat stool and be happy. So until he starts liking, there's no real, it's all simulated. Just like before you go to any pilot goes onto the flight, there's a simulation flight, right? Like that simulation way, he's kept and he's made to eat all these bad things. And when he's got used to, okay, okay, I have to eat this. Then he's ready to accept the body of the pig. Then he's sent there. Now, if he's a good soul, he is also kept in the transition place. But in this period, what happens? They are waiting for a perfect match who is like a good parent, who are elevated in their consciousness, so that they are going to provide a better opportunity and facility for the soul to grow in Krishna consciousness. So this is the process of Garbhadana Samskar, where the husband and wife are trained from childhood and they purify the womb by Krishna conscious activities. And in that soul, this good living entity will enter. So it will take time, sometimes to find good parents. So Prabhupada actually says, we want to encourage our disciples in such a way. There will be a time, Bhavishya Puran says, on the banks of Kaveri and Tungabhadra, all pure devotees will take birth. So that many devotees we have to train. So at that time, all the devatas will be standing in a line to come and take birth in the heaven, on earth. Because it is so easy, it's only 100 years of our 100 years, which is less than, few months for, and they can get full perfection and they can become pure devotees.
And they
So
can.
devatas will line up to take birth. But you need such great parents.
So the always choose like that, it won't regress.
No. Generally speaking, of course, there is choice, always there is choice.
I think that it is last Janma.
If you become a devotee, then it is last janma. If you don't become devotee, then no. You continue. You don't go back again.
I'll make it short. I'll edit it. I'll edit. Okay, so with this, we'll stop the class.
Sure.
Bhagavad Gita class ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki